from the revered office of the Attorney General of the Federation to Kuje Prison and now to DSS custody. This is the story of Abubakar Malami, who has surrendered himself to the Department of State Services following days of tension surrounding his stalled bail and heavy security presence at the Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja. The former Attorney General of the Federation decision comes after his continued detention, despite meeting bail conditions, triggered widespread attention and concern. Of course, his confinement had turned into a major security issue, with movements around the correctional facility tightly controlled for several days. Now, let's take a look at some responses from Twitter, reactions. Dapsy tweeted and said, "Where are the others before Malami? They were dragged and we have now moved on from all the court drama. They are now forgotten and left to enjoy the huge percentage left of their loot. They drag these people for a show and the whole process gathers dust in an obscure court. The strategy is to loot massively, get a slap on the wrist and 20% back to the government in forfeitures. In a few months, the noise dies down. They reinvent themselves as godfathers, sponsor candidates or their children into juicy offices. We keep on going round in circles." Well, David Osadolo had a different view. He said, "This is so wrong. The fact that Malami did it when he was in power doesn't mean this government must repeat this terrible behavior." But Dr. Abati, as you said earlier, he's innocent until proven guilty. However, the grace extended to public figures in Nigeria and just around the world around issues surrounding corruption specifically has started to wane, as people see sort of what they feel are the excesses of public office. And so when these court cases come around, most people, especially public opinion, does rush to do its own, public trial. Your thoughts on the movements around?
Look, there is what is called a global integrity framework, which deals with all forms of corruption, whether it's high corruption, it's called grand corruption, or, the lower level corruption. But corruption is corruption. But the experience in Africa is that, senior officials of state, big men, big women tend to get away with it. But you are right. There is a trend in, enforcing integrity frameworks. That's why you have bodies like Transparency International. And in all these jurisdictions, the principle is that nobody is above the law. Whether you were king yesterday or you were prime minister the other day, that integrity framework holds you accountable. So the key words are transparency and accountability. Even for persons who enjoy immunity while in office, they can still be questioned when that immunity has faded. The second point is about the fact that nobody is above the rule of law. Wherever you are, everyone is under the umbrella of law, and the law, stipulates certain duties, certain obligations, certain expectations, so that society is not a chaotic place where people just do as they like. The third point is that no condition is permanent. You can be the big cock today, tomorrow you can just be a small fly, by the wall, and that is what we see in many of these, big cases that we have had in Nigeria. Here is Mr. Malami, SAN. He was Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, the Chief Law Officer of the Federation, one of the only ministerial position that is recognized in the Constitution. Bodies like EFCC, DSS, ICPC, they were at a time under his portfolio, and now it's those same agencies going after him. However, I conclude by saying that whoever it is that finds itself within the crosshairs of the law enforcement process in Nigeria, such a person is innocent until proven guilty. Such a person is entitled to fair hearing. Such a person is entitled to have his day in court and to have counsel, legal counsel of his own choice, who can defend him. And the government of the day and the various agencies must refrain from victimization, persecution, or media trial. And the media has a role in this regard also, not to use their platforms to promote media trial and conviction before due process, an authorization of a court of a of competent jurisdiction.
Yes, those are the points. But, I know some people on social media were saying there was an Uber DSS, a DSS Uber waiting for him outside Kuje Correctional Facility to whisk him away to his next destination. Anyway, let's look at some issues in Bayelsa State. As the Commissioner of Iyama, Daniel Edobo, has condemned the assault on a tricycle rider, popularly known as KK, and has ordered the arrest of the officers involved. This was contained in a press statement signed by the command's Police Public Relations Officers DSP Musa Mohammed. The statement in parts reads, and I quote, "The attention of the Bayelsa State Police Command has been drawn to a viral video making the rounds on social media platforms, allegedly showing police officers assaulting a KK driver. The Commissioner of Police, Bayelsa State Command, CP Iyama Daniel Edebo, has condemned the act in strong terms, describing it as unacceptable and contrary to professional policing standards. He reiterates that the command does not tolerate any form of human rights violation, unprofessional conduct, or brutality." Let's take a look at the video. All right, well, you saw the video. The officers involved have been arrested and disciplinary proceedings have been instituted. They've commenced in accordance with provisions of the Police Act. But we see this recurring incidents over and over again.
Vimbai, I'll send you a video of a child. The girl is probably less than 5 or 10. That was doing a video and says, "When I grow up, I want to be a police officer because they used to beat keke and collect money." I know they are good police officers, and I make a case for the good ones any day, anytime. But this is the bad example of the Nigerian police. And it ties all of them with a brush. If we investigate it, maybe it can't be more than money. It can't be more. Is it what money will cost in this Nigerian poverty? It can't be more than money. People have gotten killed because police want to collect money from you. It can't be more than money. So we want the security forces to be able to investigate. As regards the Malami case, Dr. But you said they shouldn't do media trial. How will the media people show up if they don't do media trial? The essence of bringing the case in public glare is not to fight corruption. See, Vimba, I don't know if you understand how Nigeria works. Let me explain it to you.
You say, how will the media in Nigeria chop?
If there's no media trial, if there's no stories. So it is big man's story that they called for corruption that is in Kuje that sells. So let me tell you how it's done. A big man caught in corruption. A new government indicts him. They use him to catch trips for anti-corruption, like they are fighting corruption. But in the end, they know that they're not going to indict him because he will still go through the law process one way or the other. The law will still let him go. So when that happens, they say they are fighting corruption. Can you show me in this country how many very big men conviction? There are not many, except they have a proper vendetta against you. And so Nigeria, they now do this because they know that Nigeria lacks institutional memory. Before you know it, after some point, they'll let you go. Okay. Didn't him, Malami himself, was the one that declared the nolly prosecute on a particular politician that was a corruption case on because that one was running for Senate. When that one wanted to run for Senate president, when that one needed to do a deal with them, he did a deal with them. Yes. He stepped down and he moved for Vimbai. Let me please, producer, I just got beg. Let me just make this point. It's a very important point. So they will now wait after a period of time. They will see honor. Is it not in this country that those that return Abacha loots are given very high honors Rufai. In this country today? So it's not the intention. It's just they will do media trial, cast strips, and at the point they will leave you.
All right.
And lawyers will eat.
Well, I like to say I'm not part of the media that's chopping in your analogy.
They are chopping. They sell the stories.
They sell the stories.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay, if you put it that way. Well, let's see. EFCC and DSS, let's see how both of those cases do pan out.